This is part 2 of my trip in Dubai. The first thing when I saw when I got to First Motors was this Lexus LFA. Let's take a closer look. Upon entering, you will see a McLaren P1 GTR next to an AMG 1, and fun fact, I actually saw a P1 GTR in Qatar, but unfortunately I deleted the footage. I didn't know much about the P1 GTR until I realized it was only one of 15, and here's a lineup of Porsche 918s and yet another P1 Carbon series. So far we saw 2 of the 5 of these P1 Carbon series. We saw them in the previous video. And here we have another Lamborghini Sián Roadster. And this is actually one of the first hybrid Lamborghinis. And this guy told me not to record, but for a fact this is a Ferrari Daytona SP3. Here's a Rolls-Royce Spectre next to a Dawn, and a line of 4 GTs. By the way, in the previous video in Nova Electric Cars, there were actually 2 Rolls-Royce Wraiths. That's a very nice Lamborghini. And we have the McLaren 650 and a bunch of R34s. These are actually very rare colors. These are factory colors. Here's a Lamborghini Huracan Spider next to a Aston Martin V12 Zagato. And there's a bunch of Porsches, but here, if we go in front, we see 3 A12 comps, and next to that is, hold on, that is a 3rd McLaren Senna. So far we've seen 2, and that in the back is a Lamborghini Veneno Spider. Yes, that's right, a Lamborghini Veneno. 2 more Bugatti Chiron Sports. Here's another McLaren Speedtail, and that's a F1 car. And there's a F50 and a couple of Enzos. And here, at last, is a Ferrari F40. I can't believe I got the chance to see one. Fun fact, its engine is a 2.9 liter V8, and they just added 2 massive turbos and just a big wing in the back. Here's the LFA we saw earlier. They're going to replace it with the Sián and put it inside the backdrop place. And here's a nice photo I took. Welcome to day 2. I just wonder what it's like being used to passing by these buildings every day. Here we are at Mansory. Immediately we see these fully exposed carbon Lamborghinis and a Vespa, I think. A few golf carts and a G-Wagon and a Maserati MC20 and a Mercedes V-Class. And a lineup of Mansory Rolls-Royce Cullinans. Another one of these F9 XXs, and a 12-cylinder, I can't believe it. This 812, I think, and a Audi RS6. To be honest, with the Mansory kit on it, looks kinda better. Also, I love these walls with the customizations on it. Now, other than cars, they sell these model things like this yacht here, and over here we have a bunch of McLaren 750s, and we have a Bugatti Chiron, and another one of these, and another residence, and I can't actually reach the top, so hopefully I live in there too. Oh wait, this one's, why is it falling over? Okay, there we go. Wait, there's a butterfly on there. I wonder what's up here. Oh, it's a pool. Next stop, exotic cars. Again, you know it's Dubai when you see traffic like this. Now, upon entering, you will be greeted with a 296 GTB next to a Bugatti Divo. Yes, a quad turbocharged W16 engine, and it's only one of 40 cars in the entire world. Behind me is a Lamborghini Murcielago, and here is a McLaren 720 and two 296 GTBs and a Ferrari SF90 Stradale and a Huracan Super Trofeo Revo, or STE as I'd like to call it. And here's a GT3 RS, another one. And I've noticed every dealer in Dubai has at least two Rolls Royces, and over there is a Porsche 911 Dakar. Yeah, it's meant for off-roading, but I don't see many people actually use it off-road, but it's cool. There's a 911 Dakar and another Lamborghini Huracan Estia. We actually saw one in People of Faith, but I didn't put it. And another Murcielago next to the one we saw earlier. And an AMG one, another one. And another Lamborghini Revuelto. And there is a Ferrari 12 Cilindri. Most people don't actually like it because of the black stripe in front, but I do. Okay, time to name all these cars. Here we have a Lamborghini Huracan Performante next to an Audi R8 Spider. And there's an SF90 next to another Huracan Performante. And a SF90 next to a Super Trofeo Evo. No, so that's a Portofino. A12 next to a SF90. Another A12 next to a Ferrari Roma, which is actually the cheapest Ferrari on the market. And another A12, and listen to this guy. And yet another A12. Now I know I can name all the cars here, but the next stop is way more exciting, and it's the one I've been waiting for the entire trip. So let's go. Welcome to Al Ain Class Motors. Before you say anything, no, we did not go to Al Ain. Seriously, we're still in Dubai. It's just the name. Although there is a similar branch in Al Ain. As soon as this gentleman opens the door for you, you can see two P1 GTRs. Now the total count I've seen in my entire lifetime is 4 now. Here is a Mercedes AMG Pure, I don't know how to pronounce it, next to a Lamborghini Sion Roadster. And here's a Bugatti Veyron, which is similar to the one we saw in the first video. And a one of two Mansory Bugatti Veyron. The other one is in the US right now. And a Daytona SP2 next to a 918 Spider. And just take a look at this view. And a Porsche 935 with fully exposed carbon fiber, one of 77 units, and it's not street legal, so you can't drive on the road. And this is the second Pagani Huayra BC Roadster, our third McLaren Speedtail, and I have lost count on the Pure Sangues. And would you look at that? I did not expect a go-kart themed around this dealership. That's so nice. Now if we finish our way back, we see our fourth Ford GT and two SLS AMGs, and this, the Celine S7, an American muscle car producer that stopped producing cars, but I did expect to see this car because I saw this car on their page. Also, I did expect to see the Hennessy Venom F5, but unfortunately we didn't see it. Okay, it's time for the part you've been waiting for. Welcome to the Koenigsegg side of Al Ain Class Motors. I used to dream of seeing Koenigsegg's, and now I finally got the chance to see 4 of them. 3 Jescos and an Agera. 2 Jescos are base models, and one of them is an Absolute. And we're looking at a base model right now. And here's another base model with the Swedish colors. And there's the Agera, it's an Agera R. Now I will show you the fully exposed carbon fiber. Now let me show you the car I've been waiting for my whole life. The Koenigsegg Jesko Absolute. The word absolute in this car refers to the absolute extreme specs that they used for its engine, making it the world's fastest production car ever. There is still one more dealership to finish this trip, but it's so sad leaving the only Koenigseggs I will probably ever see in my life. So see you again soon, Koenigseggs. Anyway, the last stop for this trip is going to be VIP Motors, so let's go. The first thing that caught my eye is this new model of the Lamborghini Countach, and this is the Lamborghini Essenza SCV12, a track-focused hypercar, and fun fact, it's actually the loudest car ever recorded. And again, we have two Ferrari 12 cylinders, and this is a Bugatti Type 35, and a LaFerrari with its doors open, and a Mercedes G-Wagon 6x6 pickup. And here's a bunch of GT3 RSs. This is the 911 GT3 RS, and this is a 458 Pista, and this is the 992 GT3 RS, and another one. An AMG GT Black Series next to our 5th McLaren Speedtail, and more Bugatti Chiron Sports, and a Porsche go-kart. We actually saw one in a cafe. And as you can see, there are pedals and a handbrake. And at the back is the more usual side, because there's just Rolls-Royce Cullinans and Uruses and all of that stuff. And 3 more A12 comps. They're not Apertas this time. Let's go to my cam and see what it's like. Here we have a beautiful view of the Essenza CV12. Let's deep dive into it. So over here we have the side, and we have the number 83, and next to it is the logo, and it's very beautiful, and there's the fuel cap and the massive wing, which appears to be fully carbon fiber. Now, aside from the dealerships, I went to Chinatown and Dubai Mall. I saw the frame, the Museum of Future, and how can I not mention Burj Khalifa? I also passed Mansouri, Exotic Cars, and Al Ain Class Motors, which was by far my favorite, and Burj Al Arab, and past Sheikh Zayed road sign, and this train. We were planning to go inside it, but we didn't have the time. I saw the Eye of Dubai, which was too big to fit on screen, and a Porsche coffee shop with a 911 Rennsport, a 962C, and a GT1. When we arrived at the airport, I sat on the luggage, and to be honest, it was kind of fun. And 2 hours later, we left the UAE. I wish I could stay at the airport more though, because there's a lot of stuff to do and things to check out. But, well, I still have a lot of things to do back home, so I'm kind of glad we're leaving. Same thing with the arrival, the clouds were thick. And just like that, we arrived at Bahrain again.